As the situation continues to develop in the Middle East by the hour, local communities in the Jewish and Palestinian communities have been dealing with expressed emotions like anger and confusion and sadness. They're trying to advocate for awareness of the people back home who are directly affected by war. Home footage from inside Israel and Gaza have been flooding social media. Continuous footage of destruction and civilian cries for help would often bring solidarity between ethnic groups. However, reactions from around the world have been sharply divided. Over the last couple of weeks, multiple demonstrations have appeared in solidarity for the Palestinian community and calling for Israel to be held accountable.
Anytime we talk about Palestinian resistance, it's always labeled terrorism, and any Israeli aggression is always labeled self-defense. So that narrative has to change.
These protests come before Israel is expected to begin their ground invasion into the Gaza Strip to flush out Hamas. Palestinians are worried how many more civilian lives will be lost as a result.
Israel does not hold a monopoly on Judaism. There are many Jews that are anti-Israel or anti-Zionist. So Israeli doesn't mean Jewish, and Jewish doesn't mean Israeli. And people have to understand that. Our movement here does not tolerate anti-Semitism at all. That's not what the Palestinian movement is.
For the city's Jewish community, while significantly smaller than the local Palestinian population, the conflict seems to hit closer to home.
There is great fear in the community. Anybody who I've been speaking to over the last 2 weeks, myself included, has immediate family in Israel, and quite a few have had ties to some of the tragedies that have occurred there recently as well.
The concern of Israeli citizens and those abroad has now shifted to the involvement of states from abroad, particularly with Lebanon, where fighting between Hezbollah and the Israeli Defense Forces have been going on in the border, and the threats made by Iran. There is real concern now that a multi-front war will continue to escalate and will determine the future of the state of Israel and Palestine as a whole.
Landon, has the city taken any steps to bring in protection for these communities?
For what we understand, the city has increased security measures to protect Israeli and Islamic sites such as places of worship and schools. Just this last week, there were a couple of calls made to police. A man yelled anti-Palestine threats to high school students at Queen Elizabeth High School, as well as another man who yelled threats against the Muslim community at a local grocery store. As of now, all local demonstrations have been peaceful to this point, so far there hasn't been much to worry about.
What has been the federal government response in all of this?
Yeah, so Canada and Israel have been closely tied at the hip since Israel's founding as a state in 1948. Justin Trudeau himself has attended an anti-Semitic pro-Israel conference just a few days ago, and he's expressed Israel's right to self-defense against Hamas after the terror attack. He has stressed, however, about keeping the rights of Palestinian civilians ahead of Israel's expected invasion of the Gaza Strip.
Thanks, Landon. That's Landon Hickok reporting live from the Nate Hallways tonight.